Hi, my name is Asif Osman, and here I am once again wanting to share a thought with you. Yesterday, I gave a psychometric test, and you'll have to look up what a psychometric test if you don't know. I've talked about psychometric tests in some of my other videos, but it's something straightforward, so you can look it up. Uh, I gave a psychometric test, and one of the questions in the test was how many people in your circle do you trust with your life? And it was one of those tests that you have to answer really quickly, and it asks you to answer spontaneously and not really think about it. So I answered. But after I've finished that test, it set me thinking about this question. What exactly is trust? And how many people indeed do I trust, or do you trust, or does the actual trust in his life? And to what degree do we trust people? We all know that we can't really trust people blindly. There are some people who do, and they get burnt in the process. You've got to use common sense. And of course, you generally tend to trust the people that you know since a long time, people who are relatives, people who have grown up with you. In general, you trust them. But we all find out in life that sometimes people that you trust the most can even let you down, and that trust can be broken. So, who indeed do you trust? So, I started thinking a lot about that yesterday, and I thought I'd share these thoughts with you. Uh, well, trust is indeed hard to come by these days. I say these days, I guess it was always true. Trust is not always easy. People break the trust all the time, whether it's your best friend or your relative or whoever it is. You've just got to be careful with who you trust and what degree and with what you trust them with, whether it's important information, money, or whatever. So, indeed, if it comes to that question, who do you trust 100%? Some of us might say, yes, I trust my children, I trust my mother, I trust my father. Well, how do you know whether you can trust them 100%? It's a question because most likely they haven't really been trusted with a situation that whether that qualifies you to say I can trust them 100%. They haven't been tested to see if they can break the trust or not. So there is one person that all of you know, that you know whether you can trust that person or not. And you've had enough transactions with that person, whether it's financial or it's something to do with keeping a promise or a secret or doing something on time which needed to be done, and that person has pretty much not broken your trust, and that is indeed yourself. You are the only one that has had enough transactions, and I don't mean financial transactions. I would say transaction meaning dealings on various issues with that one person, which is yourself, that you understand enough of that you can trust yourself in those issues. And of course, there might be a few matters where you don't trust yourself. You know you are not qualified to be relied on for a particular thing. You probably won't trust yourself to do a stunt in front of a train as the train comes speeding along, because you know your capabilities, what you can do and what you can't do, aware of. So, easy in life to get by just by trusting yourself? The answer is absolutely not. You've got to trust some people along your life, and in some cases you will have situation where the trust is broken. So what do you do? Well, my recommendation is you take things by face value. You use common sense, and I say this again and again. I say use common sense, because as the saying goes, common sense is not common. So you use common sense on what to trust people with and what not to trust people with. You can't trust everyone with everything. So you decide on what issue to trust people with and what not to, and with whom. So those were my thoughts that came into my mind as I answered. And I think my only objective is to get you started on your own thinking process on the issue of trust and how important it is in our lives to progress peacefully and professionally in personal and professional issues.